Hello and welcome back to VMEArcana. I'm your host, DJ/M Harrison Cordell, with Matt.
Hello. Sorry, I spaced out hard. What's up?
No problemo. I always got to space out in the intro. Go somewhere else, somewhere darker. Maddie.
It's me.
Colton.
It's good to be back.
And Eli in spirit. Like any D&D campaign that's ongoing, players are going to be in and out. It was honestly a lucky fluke to get him on one episode.
Before
so
we go to chapter 4,
how about we do a quick recap of chapter 3 and a little bit of chapter 2 for our Pride Pine Sleuths being embroiled in an explosive mystery involving the entirety of a special division of the FBI known as the Federal Bureau of Imagination, as they discovered a magical presence of fairies living throughout the natural world. After this division of the FBI discovered the magical realm of the Feywild and its connection to our dreams. Two factions that you guys have grown accustomed to, as both of them have wronged you in separate ways. It all started yesterday, or I guess earlier this very day. It's only been probably less than an hour for these Pride Pine Sleuths on this current mystery, as a sort of group of fairies was seen stealing a retro-style projector from you all earlier on in this adventure, but you didn't have enough time to assess what the importance of that projector was, as the FBI threw a flashbang into your antique shop and attempted to launch an all-out raid against everybody here. But luckily, the FBI is a joke compared to your guys' magical power and prowess, as Maddie handily kept the FBI raid at bay, while Colton and Matthew, as the Annihilator and Reed Herrings respectively, absolutely stomped all their asses. Despite their cybernetic enhancements provided by one Duncan Saxby, an old Pride Pine Sleuths that was thought to have moved away to college, you all followed them to the local Pride Pines library, where you interrogated very weakened director of the FBI, Zeke Bunk. Zeke Bunk had completely bunked up negotiations and had no idea how to proceed. So he attempted to kidnap the Pride Pine Sleuths into solving a mystery of what the fairies are doing with the old film projector and how they can be defeated before they go through with whatever attack they're planning on the FBI and the surrounding town of Pride Pines. As you continue to the Pier Point Cinema, where seemed to have summoned a gelatinous cube encasing the entire interior of the movie theater. After a quick encounter, you decimated the gelatinous cube lining the walls of the interior and saw the body of a theater employee that you were hoping to talk to. Sadly, Quinn Roman had seemingly been dehydrated until they suddenly breathed to life, panickedly not realizing that they are now a dried up, mummified movie theater employee. And in this shocking display of life from a seemingly dead body, you guys return to the moment in the interior of the theater, stunned by the state of Quinn as they are panicking.
Water. I need water.
Holly produces water. I have elementalism, which allows me to produce small amounts of any element. So she produces some water in her hands.
You just get it. There's like a movie cup already ready on the counter. You fill it up, give it to them.
Is there skin still melted off their body? Is that what happened last time?
They're pretty much like a dried, mummified husk. You know, it is skin, but it's like very tightly wrapped around their body, which is more skeletal than
leathery.
Very leathery, very skeletal. As they drink this water, take a deeper breath. Thanks, is a lot better. Oh, jeez. Oh man, I got a really bad headache, and my eyes are gone.
Can I make a perception check?
But I can still see a little bit.
Can I make a perception check to see if she realizes how fucked up she is?
Yeah, go and roll an insight.
Yeah, that's a 4, but that's gonna be an 11.
They are really taking this in. They're changing, but they're kind of sick and twisted. They like a lot of horror movies, you know. They're a horror movie junkie. They've expected to be like turned into a monster of some time, prayed for the day they turned into a vampire or something of the like. But now Quinn is just in a really bad spot, just like being a total mummy. It's just like, oh, am I like mummified? Do you guys have like a camera or a phone or an iPad to like take a picture with?
And
you see Patty, sort of Eli's little buddy, come in, just like, here you go.
No, maybe we shouldn't.
I have a selfie camera right here.
Maybe we shouldn't. Oh.
And then Quinn takes a D4 of psychic damage, 4 damage. I'd just be like,
oh, so ugly. Ew.
Hey, man,
Oh.
you said it, not me.
I'm okay.
The Annihilator bends down on one knee, puts a hand on their shoulder, and go. I also agree.
It's totally recoverable. Just a little bit of moisturizer. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I gotta go to a sauna or something, and maybe saunas would make it worse. I don't know.
My scans indicate that you are in fact quite ugly right now.
Damn, quantifiably ugly, brutal.
All right. Look, do you know what happened to you?
Yeah, I was showing a test screening with some, pixies, fairies that were paying me some pretty good, old-fashioned, gold coins to, kind of cut a movie trailer for them. I just cut together a bunch of different sort of horror movie trailers and, played them in the showing room. But then the showing room started getting, a little bit distorted. There was, red and blue light going forth, and then suddenly just a red or blue slime was coming out. So I tried to let go of the other theater employees and, whatever pixies were there. The pixies kind of were long gone, so I basically definitely kind of put 2 and 2 together of just they probably did trap me, damn. Yeah, I don't know where everybody else that was here is. I also let my buddy Liberty in, but I'm not sure what they ended up in.
Oh, but you think that the pixies were involved with the slime? They were the ones who created it?
Yeah, they just, had me show a movie. Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, one of the movie trailers I cut in was The Hungry Blob. Was an old retro horror movie about a slime ball.
Do you mind showing me the screening room where this?
Yeah, it's right in the theater over here. Looks like the door's open a little bit, and just sees a corpse on the ground next to the doorway.
Okay, Annihilator, why don't you take
I'm good.
Why don't you take Quinn outside? We can no seriously. I think it'd be good if you just kind of
I just have to get it out of my system when I see it, okay? This is healthy.
It's still raining outside, so that might be helpful for you. And I want to go up on my own, and I want to check out the room where the screening happens.
Yeah, just go ahead and investigate. You also see as you walk in, sitting at the seats there, are the 3 gnomes. Just also kind of waking up from a daze, also appear to be mummified. Their eyes gone, their flesh. They still have their beards though, and some
Jeffrey
white hair.
A?
But you see Jeffrey A. And his pals E and Double F sitting in the seats.
Serves them right.
No, I like Jeffrey A, E, and Double F. Okay.
You did after what you did.
Oh my gosh, that's a nat 20 investigation roll.
Okay. There's no other movie theater employees. They got out, so Quinn was able to get to that. But there's one body right at the doorway that couldn't get out right away. That looks like the slime didn't touch them, but they're just dead already. And I'll say on a nat 20 investigation that they were stabbed in the back by a very tiny blade.
Pixies.
And with a substance that, even on a nat 20, I'll say you'll recognize the substance if you investigate it from its source, but you do know it's a magical substance that you haven't seen before.
Okay.
So
is there anything I can collect?
Yeah, you can collect a little bit. Do you guys have a DIY remember those Spy Gear toys we used to have as kids back in the day, which was very big in 2010? Do you just have a sort of chemical kit? I'm sure they sold chemical kits for
Holly
special
definitely
investigations for kids.
She definitely has a whole kit in her backpack that she always has with her.
Oh yeah, unzip it, clear it out a little bit. Maybe take a little Polaroid of the stab wound. You do recognize the body as Liberty Gibbs, who the cafe who didn't call in today.
So did Liberty work at the movie theater too?
No, just looked like just some movie theater friends invited them. Yeah, he was just hanging with the boys and then got.
Am I in the movie theater where this showing was, or am I in the projection room?
Yeah, this is a single movie theater. This is a single showing room theater, which kind of happens for local theaters. It's just the one sort of room.
Can I see where the projection is? I want to look for that camera that was missing from the shop and see if it got switched out in the movie theater.
Yeah, there's a way to get to the projection room by going, behind the seats a little bit. You do see the gnome still there. It's just Holly, can you get us a drink?
Oh gosh. Okay, I create more water for them all.
All right, yeah, you take a couple of You take about like half a minute to like 6 seconds each for elementalism, or you can like line them up a little bit. They only need like a little, like one of those little Dixie cups of water.
It's like a cup of water. They can share.
Yeah.
They're small.
For the gnomes, they just have the Dixie cups there, just like, oh, thanks. Yeah, honestly, just a little bit of water really helps with the situation. You looking for the projector room? Yeah, it's right up here. I work here on the weekends, for like some magical creatures like watching the movie. So I kind of do this as a side gig for some popcorn.
Okay. Is everybody else with me or am I on my own?
I mean, what do Matt and Colton want to do?
I will just like generally investigate the theater. See if there's anything else here in the house that is
Okay. I'd say maybe roll the Annihilator would maybe be more accustomed to maybe rolling Arcana or rolling maybe history, unlike the actual monster itself.
All right. Well, I got a dirty one.
Yeah. You think it's some kind of slime creature along the walls.
Big if true.
There appears to be a dead body.
Yeah. And Maddie, just think about what you're looking for in the projector room as we go to Colton. What are you hoping to investigate in the scene? Are you much of like an investigation type guy? Do you want to look at people? Do you want to talk to Quinn at all you want to talk to Quinn as they go outside, or?
Let's see. I'm not a super investigative guy. Can I take another look at the undehydrated body?
Yeah, go ahead. Actually, you've sold drugs to Liberty Gibbs a few times. I can give you that. Okay. So you can kind of get the vibe for the body. I'll say you also haven't seen like a magical killing as this. But it is like a straight up betrayal murder right in the back. That did kill him pretty quickly. You can tell.
Would I know? So obviously it's a small wound. Would I connect the dots on that? Or can I do an investigation? Or maybe like
without
a history check?
Yeah, maybe do a history if you've seen death before. You've been in some lethal encounters.
I mean, we just like absolutely.
And you've been asked to collect some money, and people were already dead by the time you collected money, which kind of happens in like more shadier businesses around the coast. A lot of like secluded people often owe all kinds of parties money as you've done some collections.
Okay, 16 for history.
16, yeah. I'm just going to say there's 2 people in similar cases that have died in a way of just something. You've heard of one person called the Tiny Thief. That is a very specific sort of collection agent that you don't want to mess with. That you, until now, you thought it was just like a short person. And it is a short person for sure, but you
right.
Clicking in this setting, you kind of go back to the docks and just like, oh, I guess a lot of secluded people along the coast would borrow money from magical sources that also warranted your intervention, even though you don't strictly consider yourself like a magical kind of member of society, even though you have some magical history.
Yeah, I wouldn't like consider myself.
Yeah, seeing this body changes your history in hindsight, is what I'd say.
Yeah. Okay, that is interesting. What was the name of that? The
Tiny Thief. That's all you've heard about them. As we go back up to Holly, up in the projector room, the projector is gone, I will say. Which, honestly, you're surprised about, because the screen is still fully illuminated with, like, some grainy footage that you can't really tell what's on there. It looks like some kind of underwater scene. It's a little bit of a strange system. You're not much of a movie person, I'm guessing. I mean, you catch the big releases like Prince of Persia and The Sands of Time.
Exactly. Only the best for her spare time.
Exactly. You see the latest Bruckheimer hit picture just sort of tossed on the ground, along with some stacking of other film reels. Quinn said they did like a custom film reel of a different sort of movie, horror trailers going back to back for some. You actually do see a piece of this sort of pixie gold if you want to investigate that. We'll say with a passive investigation, you can kind of feel that it's not exactly something you would find in the antique shop, but it is something that does feel inherently magical a little bit. There's like a little bit of a fairy dust sheen to it. As you can see, like pixies and fairies would trade. This sort of gold drachma with like a little butterfly insignia on it.
Okay, can I try and figure out where the projection is coming from then, or how this scene is playing if the projector itself is gone?
Yeah, you can see the screen itself is sort of magically illuminating on like this constant sort of pretty brief loop. But as you look onto the screen, you can see Duncan floating into the screen very slowly.
Okay, so at the end of the fight, he wasn't with us.
You thought he was with you, but he's just kind of like a little bit more drowsier than usual. Like the spell he casted might have sort of tuckered him up a little bit. You've seen him kind of, a little bit sleepier at all. And that's when, Tabby or whoever brings him another cup of coffee or whatever. But for the first time in maybe years, you see Duncan Saxby asleep, drifting up into the air and into the screen.
Okay, so he's actively floating away.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps like he is sniffing a pie, cooling on a window, and
like honestly, it's exactly like that. His toes are curled a little bit. He's very blissfully at sleep, resting, which is totally against his unresting character.
And he is just floating in the air.
In the past years, you've known him.
Okay, so just to make sure I'm clear, the projector from this room is also gone.
The projector is gone, and the screen is still illuminated after what the projector did.
Okay.
You can see like the stand up where it was.
Is it the same setup as the one that was stolen from the shop, or does it look like the one that's original to the movie theater?
It'd be the same size, yeah. On like
as
previous investigation checks, it'd be the same size.
Okay.
You still don't know exactly like what makes this projector special just yet, but you can definitely see like in this sort of like red and blue kind of outline of the projector screen kind of emanating the light. It's a little bit brighter than other projector screens you've seen before as the scene reacts to Eli drifting towards it.
I'm going to shout out, Duncan!
Me. Me. A very cartoonish honk shoe.
Nobody else down there can see him floating away. Someone grab him.
Yeah, I'll let you guys try to grab him.
The Annihilator will go try and grab him.
Yeah, roll a nat 20.
Do it. Do it now. Hold your bluff.
Okay, we were supposed to mechanically make up for the fact that Eli was not here, and then we ruined it.
True. Okay, you snag him, you bring it back down. He's sleeping, honk you.
And another 20!
Matt,
and
stop,
another
save
20!
him.
And another 20! You crit on him. You do double damage against Eli. Put him out of his misery.
No.
Crack him on the head. Honestly, Matt, I was going to save this for everybody else later. You level up. You are now level 7, Matthew.
Hey, let's go.
As you call you to the future kind of spurts out. And you instantly rescue your creator, Duncan Saxby, with the power of the unresting warlock. You drag him back down to the bottom of the theater. You try to open his eyes a little bit, and they're completely a shady, dark brown of the eyes, sort of a cloudy, caffeinated eyeball underneath it, under a deep slumber.
I whisper to everyone, "He's sleeping."
Yes.
Can I run down and make like a medicine check on him to see what's going on with him?
Yeah, sure.
That is a... What do I have? Do I have anything for medicine? Okay, this is 7.
This is 7. This is definitely induced by magic.
Okay.
His own personal warlock magic, perhaps, or it could be something that a slime effect that was hidden. Maybe the projector is kind of messing with his. Maybe he has some sort of connection to like the projection itself. You're not sure exactly until Colton, I presume you kind of enter back into the theater scene. So the whole crew can be here for this.
Yeah, after hearing kind of the commotion.
So yeah, you see Duncan Saxby, a guy you've never
away from the body,
never really vibed with, just unconscious. Which, Holly and also the Annihilator. Like, it's the first time you've seen like a robot just generally concerned as he's completely conked out.
Oh man.
Scans indicate that this is a problem.
Is there... I don't trust this theater to be a safe place. Is there something safe we can take him so that way we can figure out what's going on with him?
You hear a whistling whirlwind of magic as out of focus on the screen you see the sort of underwater picture starts to swirl water. Welcome in, and becomes a dark shade of caffeinated sort of coffee brown. Like espresso brown? Is that like a tone of color?
Yeah, I guess say so.
Yeah. So, yeah, sort of an espresso brown sort of swirls. And then, ooh, Maybe only Matthew, only the Annihilator hears.
You must all enter the dream domain. There I can show you.
So yeah, Matthew, how does the Annihilator react to this? Does he parrot the signal?
Yeah, he's gonna see if he can figure out where it's coming from, but he's gonna express that he just heard someone whisper to enter the dream domain.
This is the thing that those FBI guys were doing, right? Does nobody else pay attention? Is it just me? Okay, I'm on my own. All right.
Yes, that is correct, Miss Harmon.
Oh,
Patty kind of comes up with you. He's like a little iPad on like a wheelie that Eli brought along.
All right. Well,
Because he likes him a lot more. I guess like Eli's familiar mechanically.
Okay, glad I have one other person who's kind of competent. No offense, Reed. Full offense, Annihilator. Okay. I mean, can I make an insight onto this voice that I didn't hear to see if I can figure out where it's coming from?
Yeah, and how do we know this isn't a trap? I mean,
this reeks of trap.
If I was trying to...
I highly doubt the discovery of new world-changing information could ever be a true...
You see, for a moment, Patty's screen goes dark, and then an ominous brown light appears as like a sort of voice signal. The sort of voice wave on the actual iPad screen changes a lot.
Hello, Miss Harmon. You've been investigating my people for some time. I'd be very much glad for you to join us in the name of Jehovah.
Oh, this is Eli's guy.
His what now?
His, I don't know, coffee god?
Oh,
okay.
I'm afraid I'm not the deity that you presume. I'm just a companion, you could say.
Okay.
A worthy follower.
What's your whole deal with the pixies and the evil stuff going on? If you want to be completely candid about that.
I'm the leader of the pixies, a bone run.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
It's like an undead. It's a play on Oberon, but it's bone.
Yeah.
Because we are an undead pixie.
Okay.
That's very
not
tribe.
spooky.
Lying in between the realms, in the dream ethereal. I'd like to invite you through this portal you see before you.
You see this sort of the projector screen pulses with red and blue light.
Your artistic mediums are the best way to connect with the dream realm. But typically movies, I actually have been liking the movies I've seen. Prince of Persia was honestly pretty fucking sick.
We wouldn't know.
Didn't ever get to see it. That's besides the point as well. Okay. If we step into this dream realm, are we going to have any control over how we get back?
You will have to take control by facing your own subconscious. But yes, within the dream realm, you will find powers that you've never seen before.
I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty stable person. Annihilator, do you have a subconscious?
No subconscious detected.
All right, well.
I assume we will figure
I
it
guess
out.
we'll see about that.
Reed, are you ready to delve into your subconscious?
Mm-hmm.
About as ready as I can be.
All right, well, this seems like a really bad idea, but I guess we'll enter the dream realm?
I look forward to meeting with you. After you've gotten used to the dream world's power, find the burnt-out hollow. That is where you will find my people.
This is so sketchy. This guy just came and was like, come be in this weird realm with us.
The DM is telling you to enter the portal he created for you.
I can't say no,
Do you
because
accept?
that would derail the campaign. All right, well.
I mean, I would accept you to say no.
No, it's okay. I do want to enter the dream realm because I'm really curious about this power. Okay. Is Quinn still here?
Quinn is still outside, kind of having a smoke break in the rain.
Okay.
Is Jeffrey you see Jeffrey A is still there, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Jeffrey A, E, and double F, and I'm going to say, can you please, I know we've had our beef in the past, but all things considered, can you just do me a solid and watch our friend's body while we're in the dream realm?
Just this once. I'll work with you.
Okay. I'll let you.
Also, I think you just have to jump up and fly into it. I think your body's going to be good.
No, I'm more worried about his body because we're going to leave him here on his own. Unless we can take him with us.
Oberon comes back. Oberon comes back on the iPad.
Hey, could you bring Duncan?
Okay. All right. Never mind.
It's my patron wants him back in the dream realm. That's like the main thing.
I'll pick up Duncan and huck them over my shoulders, fireman carry style.
Oh, carry him style. Hell yeah.
All right, thanks. Sorry, that's no more notes. All right, I mean, you have a question about the dream realm. I can answer something, I guess. If you guys really are worried about going in, you guys are taking a while.
It's more just the fact that you're associated with the pixies that's throwing me, but, I'm not going to jump to any conclusions.
What do you have against the pixies, dude?
I mean, I think they stabbed somebody.
What, you're with the feds or something?
No, but I think that they murdered a person, and that's not okay.
What?
There's a little tiny stab wound. Hey, well, what kind of weapons do
stab wound?
Yeah. Don't pixies carry, like, tiny little knives and swords?
Sorry, the reception's going out.
Okay. All right.
Ooh. The magical connection is fading quickly. You must go off into the world.
Interference with the connection.
Holly is going to set aside her better instinct and float herself up into the dream realm.
And go traverse the fog like a Dark Souls game.
Yes.
Exactly. You guys are taken into the sort of whirlwind of water, almost as if you're swimming through the air. You follow through into the magical projector screen in front of you. As the depth increases, the red and blue colors and lights kind of expand the screen around you until you are completely consumed by a swirling vortex of caffeinated liquid. It's a very strong sort of pungent smell. You look around you, but then the light starts pouring in through the actual liquid itself. Lights that kind of illuminate the setting around you as you realize, all of you, and then it's at Colton, you vaporize into fairy dust. Gone. Annihilator. Holly, you see the Annihilator and Duncan. Since Annihilator rolled a nat 20, I'll keep him with Duncan. Zapped into dust. A slightly different colored dust. We'll say more of a reddish blue. Mixed between red and blue dust. And finally, dust surrounds
Holly
you.
braces.
In sort of a nebulous space. As you have some quiet sense of where you're going, you start to sense that you are following in Reed's footsteps as we open on a sunny day years and years ago. Probably further back to like 2004.
Whoa.
Long time ago, as we find Reed, a very young Reed Herrings. A bit more of a snotty kid, a bit more thin, definitely doesn't eat as much as he does now. Hiking through downtown Pride Pines, pretty nearby the antique shop, but not quite. As he goes by his father's work pace after school at Pride Pines Elementary, and after stopping by the library, just looking at books that he doesn't really read too closely, to the old Harmon Herbalist store, colloquially known as Harmon Herbs. You frequent there all the time to check out the merchandise, not exactly picking up anything because you and your father don't exactly have the capital to do that. What's your favorite part about going to this sort of big herbalist sort of gardening shop, Colton, as a young Reed kind of explores Pride Pines?
Let's see. I want to just kind of take everything in. I want to make sure. Well, like I'm like sniffing the scents and getting all that like nostalgia, and then kind of like cautiously walking around and like touching stuff and feeling like all the
the sensory information. And actually, that is a good
like,
point.
If
you want to be the
like
modern
really
day Reed
here?
in your body, okay, yeah. Oh, I actually like that a lot. But yeah, you're basically the modern day Reed in like your younger body. You're vaguely recalling this day. You just remember that earlier this day, you're having a bit of a mixed bag. It was kind of a rough start in the morning. You slept in, you missed the bus, you had to walk all the way there. Your teacher kind of punished you again, put you in detention for like a constant sort of string of truancies and whatnot. Your dad forgot to wake you up. And then as you're sort of shabbily walking out of the room, the teacher's room, clearly in trouble, before you head off to the lunch period, you see the sort of preppy kind of leader of the Pride Pine Sleuths, Leo Locke, go, looks like dear Reed got in trouble again.
Hey Leo, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty A-okay.
That's awesome, man.
Very punctual, I could say.
Cool.
You see his sort of good friend of his, Bertie Bowers.
Yeah. You guys are such good sleuths.
What a poor sap. Too bad your dad can't take care of you, Leo says, hoping for people to laugh around him. Yeah, if only somebody could solve that mystery.
Slink away.
Oh, yeah, you kind of slink away. If only could somebody solve the mystery of why you're such a chump. And then you go away. Yeah, you see young Birdie kind of hits him on the shoulder. It's just like, hey, that feels like, that didn't really feel funny at all, right? I mean, why do we have to be so rude to him like that? And Leo's just like, what? He's like a total punk. We probably almost bust him for stealing like all the time. It's only a matter of time before he slips up. You just gotta, as long as he keeps his confidence down, he won't think that he can get away with stealing. I'm trying to help him, Birdie, okay? Now let's go meet up with the rest of the sleuths. So Reed, you continue on after school. A lot more of a meeker kid that would get in trouble. You know, you'd come up to your hijinks. What would be the sort of hijinks you would do against? Obviously, you weren't very confrontational as a kid, but how would you ever get back at Leo for kind of completely targeting you as a sort of bully in the school?
I don't know if I've necessarily gotten to that point yet.
Okay, not at this point.
I think at this point, Reed still really looks up to the sleuths. And even though they constantly rag on him, he really like wants to be in that like in group. And
oh, okay.
It's kind of like funny almost to like modern Reed. He's like, oh man, you know.
Exactly.
You know, this kid, he's like, they're treating you like dirt. Why are you letting them, you know, walk all over you like this?
Yeah, your dad's definitely disappointed and like, come on, you can't really take this stuff. I mean, a couple of moves. So yeah, just put it in your shoulder, just right in the hand. Come on. Go ahead and roll an attack for me with a -1.
Okay.
Just roll a d20 and subtract 1 as your kid self.
18.
18. Whoa, awesome. So yeah, you actually do it like a really solid hit. Just like, Jesus, how did you do?
I've been practicing.
What are you so worried about? You're a great kid. You know, you definitely, you know, obviously you don't always turn stuff in on time and not exactly punctual like your old man, but come on, you can throw a good haymaker. You can, you know, lug stuff around all nice. You'll definitely do well in like a workforce, but why can't you like play some ball with the fellow kids and like put yourself out there? Where's your confidence? Come on. You think I would be the lead sort of liaison of Harmon's Herbalist if I didn't have the confidence?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Just be you. Takes a beat a little bit. How about you just go pick up something out in the garden and you can take it home. We'll keep it between us, okay? I'll cover it in the register later, okay?
Okay. We'll go pick something out. I think that'll make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, sure thing. It's gonna be all right, kid. Just be you. Don't let those sleuths push you around.
No, Dad, they're my friends. It's all cool. They're just ragging on me, you know?
Ragging on you? Come on. They're just looking for poor chumps like you and me to kind of pin something on. Just like one mistakes, they can't let them go. All those sort of detective
Dad, you're wrong about
cops.
that.
Come on.
They're great. You'll see.
All right, I'll let you learn someday. Just go ahead and pick out something and I'll be home soon. I promise.
All right. I'll see you later.
Your dad is definitely more of a sort of tough bruiser type with like kind of a shabby tie. He's definitely more of a managerial role at the herbs shop since the owner, Helena Harmon, has, you know, for her health, has taken a bit more break from directly managing the shop. He's sort of taking it on a little bit. He's doing some stuff in the back as you all cruise the garden a little bit. Yeah, what would really catch Reed's eyes?
I think I find kind of a cool crystal.
Ooh, a very cool crystalline rock. You see like a very beautiful kind of rock bed that like flowers are sitting in it, but you see like a very strange sort of crystal that seems kind of familiar to you. It's a very nice sort of kind of a red and a bluish tint to the crystal on like both sides of it. It's like a rock with like a crystallized center that you can see chipped within. Like you see like a pretty sort of normal average sort of looking rock with like a very sort of nice interior to it. Take it home, put it in your pocket, walk away. And then running into the things, you see all the Pride Pine Sleuths run into you.
Oh, hey guys, what are you all doing here?
And Harley, you see the guy cruising around a little bit. You've been a little bit distrustful of the herrings all this time. And you saw Reed pocket that rock.
Reed, you have to put that back.
Put what back?
Put what back? You see Leo kind of obnoxiously knocks a little bit. I was like, come on, if even Holly can see it, come on, man. You're definitely kind of walking around here pocketing stuff, and that's the best you can come up with?
Look, just put it back where you found it. I won't tell anybody, okay?
No, tell anybody. Come on. After all the shit his dad's gotten away with it, you'll think he'll be able to see it here?
What? Ooh, I'm not sure what you mean. I was gonna pay for this, or I mean, my dad was.
Yeah, I wonder how your dad can let that slide, huh? I wonder what else he's paying for, huh? He kind of pokes you a little bit.
Leo, knock it off. We're supposed to be sleuths.
This is your mom's
solved the
shop,
mystery.
for Christ's sake.
Well, I know, but we solved the mystery. So let's just tell a grown-up that he's stolen a rock, and then we can fix it.
Our last mystery was a week ago, okay? We got to be on the lookout. We can't be picky about who we want to serve and who we want to let go. That's not up to us, okay?
Wait. I didn't steal this rock.
Oh,
I
you
was
didn't
gonna buy
steal
it.
this rock. Gonna buy it. Gonna buy it after you went out the exit where we're coming in? You see your dad kind of pops around
I'll put it back.
and like notices the sort of altercation as he's like lugging around some like fertilizer and like another cart of things. He's just like, hey, is there a problem over here? And then Leo's just like, yeah, there's a problem. You're raising your kid wrong.
Yo, holy shit.
Here's the real mystery. Why the hell would Miss Harmon hire a deadbeat junkie like you when you're letting your kids walk around stealing stuff? First it's a rock, then it's going to be a flower, and then it'll be a couple of bills from the register, like what you probably do. Isn't that right?
Yo, hot damn.
That's why my dad fired you.
Look, we don't have proof of that yet, okay? We're still figuring it out.
And you see Mr. Herring loses his temper and just dumps fertilizer right on Leo's head. Absolutely gets him. You see a couple of mothers going to the shop just like, oh, just like, oh, I'm so sorry, kid. It's really hard to lug stuff around when you're a moron like me. And Leo definitely goes, ugh. Oh my God. Too bad my father can only fire you once. You absolute douche nozzle. A little bit of tears in his eyes as the fertilizer gets in. Oh my God, I need to find a lake or something. You, dude. This case isn't over. And Leo runs away. Birdie follows behind him. Leo, relax, dude. Duncan Saxby just freezes up. Looks around a little bit. Isn't really sure what to say. Kind of shamedly.
Holly's going to look back at Duncan, and then she's going to look at Reed. And she's going to say, look, just admit that you stole it, and things will probably be better off for you, okay?
But I didn't steal it. We were gonna buy it.
Look, I know that the store has cameras, and they're going to speak for themselves. So she looks after Leo and Birdie, and she's just like, I got to go. And she runs off with him.
Oh, yeah.
And she pulls Duncan with her.
Yeah, Duncan kind of keeps his head in his notebook and like walks away. One last look as your father kind of looks ashamed that he kind of lost it and got the kid so bad. And like got some other kids to look at him, but just like kind of looks at you a little bit disappointingly that maybe it's that you got caught, or maybe it's that his confidence, his temper might be the reason that he's going to get in trouble. The image of him fades into him getting arrested for seemingly doing some pretty big scale embezzling from the gardening shop all those years ago, forcing Holly's mom to sell the shop, and also putting you into juvie as there was some evidence and even some camera footage that seemingly puts you at the scene of a crime that you swear you weren't at. This is before your juvie hearing, but you do see your dad getting put away and you being held in sort of a foster system as your dad's getting carted away. What's the last thing you want to say to your dad?
I don't think I know what to say. And I think I just kind of, like, I start to say something, but I can't help but just, like, stare.
Exactly.
And that's something that, like, Reed holds on to and kind of, like, regrets.
Yeah. You see, definitely you feel a moment of regret as you kind of mirrors your dad's, just has a look of regret in his eyes as he also doesn't know what to say. Also in front of Polly's mother, who is kind of shocked, but I guess sort of unsurprised that her kind of lack of care within managing the shop led to somebody embezzling that much money from cornerstone of the town. as the environment around you fades away and kind of reforms to even later, a month after the shop has closed, pretty closely after the embezzlements. You see a smaller shop. There's a sign directing people to a smaller shop closer to Holly's home. But yeah, Holly, you're kind of cruising around this sort of abandoned shop, picking up some things for your mom as she sort of, in one of her other periods of sort of unwell, kind of sleepy nature, sleeping in today like she normally does, look around the shop and find sort of crystalline rock that was returned to its spot sometime later. Do you feel any sort of resentment that Reed was caught stealing with more than you initially presumed with his father? Or what was your sort of initial instincts around the investigation?
I mean, I think that Holly is one who early on would just full-heartedly believe in what was in front of her, like the clues speak for themselves, and it looked like he was stealing. And maybe there was like an inkling of her being like, well, maybe he didn't, maybe he really was going to pay for it. But then after Reed's dad got caught embezzling, she was like, no, he's exactly like his dad. And he just felt guilty. He didn't want to get caught. And so she just like hucks the rock across the room and just is like so mad that they lost her shop and it's all this family's fault.
The entire town also kind of realizing in this situation with like a very sort of public sort of police investigation with public records that people that are aware of your mother's ailments and businesses. And like as like an herbalist, you know, selling cure-alls and curements, a lot less people are going to her. Oh, she's in such poor health. You know, why am I picking up these tonics from the Harmon family? The Harmon name. The Pride Pine Sleuths definitely solved it, though I guess the Harmon name isn't exactly associated with the Pride Pine Sleuths, as Leo and Birdie took the credit for finding the miraculous evidence after hours, which you were against of actually looking into it closely. Would it be unfair to say that Holly kind of wasn't as confident as an investigator looking back through the evidence?
She wanted to be, like, she wanted to feel like she was the real leader, but the truth was that, like, she was a little bit quieter. And so she oftentimes was kind of pushed to the wayside, which led her to later on want to be like, no, I am the one who's in charge.
You would definitely be strong-armed a lot. Basically find some leaves in the shop, you set them out. You see a very sort of younger Fitzgerald, a little baby Fitzgerald's walking around eating some leaves with this sort of craggy sort of behavior. I want to eating some leaves as you're thinking.
Gently pet the back of his shell. At least I have you, Gerald.
Solving this case wasn't as exhilarating as one of your early cases where you went to the magic antique shop and found another case of theft, of petty theft of various antiques and selling them to other towns. Nancy Goldenrod was nice enough to let you keep an antique or two after finding it, and you find a nice quill that you find yourself writing in from time and again. But as you're sort of staring at the page, what does your sort of journal look like as you're in your younger days as a sleuth? Do you write in it too much, or?
Oh yeah, it's got like pages taped into it, and it's like falling apart. She's like taped it back together.
Much more hand-me-down one. Okay.
Yeah, it's like her mom bought it for her to like have at school, but she didn't use it for school.
Exactly right. Closing out the case in your sort of fiery red kind of quill. I think it was previously described as you kind of go a little bit, but you see you're a little bit angrier. You're kind of scribbling in it a little bit more. Then you hear a little spark from your quill suddenly.
I look down at it. I look at the paper.
The paper's totally okay, but you do see a couple of embers on the ground next to you. So there definitely was a kind of reaction to writing as you got a little bit more upset in your writing process.
I channel more of my anger that I'm feeling towards Reed's family, and I scribble just like nonsense.
You scribble just nonsense. You go read Herring's, Jake Herring's, and then just cross it out. And on the cross out, sparks fly from the quill itself, but then it starts a little bit of a fire in your journal, and you're a little bit worried. You're panicked. You're not sure what to do, and then trying to put it out a little bit, you can feel your hand getting a little bit more damp as you kind of summon a little bit of water magic suddenly.
I look down at my hands. I like rub them on my pants, and then check them again to see if they're still wet.
They're still wet. They're kind of producing water on their own.
You're discovering sweating.
This is kind of... It seems a little bit like sweating at first, a little bit. You see Fitzgerald coughs up some, like, sees an ember in the air, swallows it. You've never seen him, like, eat. Kind of, he goes around, like, the ashes in your fireplaces and stuff like that, and you tell him to get away, but he seems to be fine after eating this sort of fiery kind of ember. And you see, like, his sort of, you see this very strange sort of, like, red turtle that seems pretty rare that you were walking along the coast. Kind of named him jokingly as a lava turtle, but you do see like the embers kind of like go on the back of his shell and like kind of react in a certain way. I sort of do this, but unrelated to the quill you've picked up. You do see like you're sort of in this moment of like pure emotion. You're kind of looking back at it now as like your sort of current version of yourself looking at this memory. You do kind of get a bit of awareness of just like, oh, this is like where you learned elementism, your cantrips and whatnot, which seems like a powerful, interesting moment. So you fill up a tub of water around the sort of gardening bed as you sort of see if you can control it and move it. And roll an Arcana check for me. This is going to be a flat 10 roll as your younger self. So yeah, just what's 15. On the die. Wow, even without any bonuses on the dice, you're able to slowly kind of pull like a waterbender back and forth as you discover magic for the first time.
I think that like after all this time of feeling like she was kind of at the wayside, she was like, I am the main character.
And as you say that, it's just like, get over yourself, Holly. See, you were kind of playing with water in like a covered area, but still like an open area that can be seen by other people. Do you try to like hide this sort of magic gift from like a familiar voice?
I'm just going to put my hands behind my back and pretend like I wasn't doing anything.
You see Lacey Barrett, a very good friend and neighbor to Reed that's been hassling you over the past month. I don't know how your feelings about this, but you basically have a new bully in town as Lacey is just relentless in going against you and the Sleuths for ruining Reed's life and getting him thrown in juvie for something that seemed out of Reed's character.
How old are we at this point?
I'll say you're getting into 6th grade now. After It's like the transition to 6th grade summer is what we're at now. Probably also in May, in like July.
Okay.
Heat's blaring down. Tensions are rising a little bit. Outside of school, Lacey is still very intent on being straight up bullies to you for what she considers a very poor action that you took against Reed and his family.
Okay. Holly's going to go, back off, Lacey, because this is almost trespassing.
You don't own this place anymore, so it's not trespassing.
Okay, well, somebody owns this place, and you would be trespassing on it.
This belongs to the town, okay? Just like the Pride Pine Sleuths. Maybe you guys should be a little bit more caring and giving and respect people.
I don't know if you've noticed, but we're like kind of famous for all the good that we've done for this town. What have you done for this town, Lacey?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe try to, she kind of goes back a little bit. I haven't had the chance to do a lot of things, okay? I've been trying to visit Reed, but they won't let me because juvie doesn't let people visit kids when you're another kid. They don't let other kids go to juvie hall.
Did I know that Reed's in juvie?
Yeah. You did.
Okay, she gets a little bit bashful.
Yeah, go ahead and get bashful, okay? What a bashful...
Was that Lacey saying that?
Yes. That's Lacey saying that.
That's a power move right
God.
there.
Look,
Picking off you guys when you're alone is way too easy. When Leo isn't jumping in to defend you.
You know what? Reed made his own choices. I didn't make Reed's choices for him. It's not my fault that he's in juvie. It's his fault, okay?
Lacey, with not too many words to back up her sort of emotion, kind of shoves you a little bit.
Holly has never been in a physical altercation before in her life. She's just gonna like take her backpack and like kind of like throw it at her feet.
She jumps back a little bit, and in this moment of desperation, you see the water kind of grows little tendrils and grabs her, pulls her in. Oh, you made me trip! You son of a... You see a little tug in the water. But she falls under the surface, deep under the surface.
Holly reaches her hands into the water to figure out what happened.
As you try to go in deep enough into the water, you suddenly lose a connection to something you feel. As your hand hits the side of the trough, suddenly, you can see inside the water again, as something happened, possibly magically. We then cut to a week later. The Pride Pine Sleuths' last case. The most serious case before going into the 6th grade was trying to find a missing student of Lacey Barrett, presumably run away. Lacey was a constant runaway, so she wasn't reported missing right away. But you had a hard time convincing Leo, so you guys were on the hunt, looking for clues and mysteries. This is one mystery that just had no clues. A little bit unsure of how to proceed. You see Leo pulls out something that he was keeping a secret from the Sleuths, and you see a very sort of vain, innate silver mirror that he has been able to say an enchantment that's read around the mirror.
Colora Iseta.
I've actually learned a lot of ancient languages in class and extracurriculars. I'm pretty smart like that. So he's able to summon a little glowing image within the mirror, the very dirty hand of Lacey within the image, as he shows you his magical item, Mirror of Scrying. Pretty impressive, right? All right, so let's find this Lacey chick, I guess. You see Leo's voice has dropped a little bit. He's growing like a really bad sort of fake goatee on his chin. as you guys are growing up a little bit as sleuths.
Is there like anything in the mirror that shows that she's in water still?
You can't tell like the hand is like actually reflected in a body of water, but it's still. Usually it's not like a still image, but I guess we can kind of look. So you go off a little bit into the woods, just like, oh, and Holly, you've actually been to this body of water before, on like a hike once a long time ago with your mother and your father back when he was around. You would actually go on hikes a little bit more frequently. But as you go to the body of water, as you actually take police officers with you, it's just like, hey, I think we found him. And like, the local Sheriff Barnaby, just like, oh, you kids. All right, let's go solve another mystery. As you all go out to see us, you see the sheriff is falling behind you, a little bit winded. You guys have to like hike and walk along the trail a little bit. And you hear a blood-curdling scream from Birdie as you find something in the water. As you see Lacey Barrett kind of lying still with gashes and bite marks all around her. Some kind of animal, some kind of creature honestly mauled your classmate. You'll always remember the distinct detail of claw marks going over one of her eyes as she lies dead for days. The sheriff finally catches up, worried about something. He's just like, oh, all right, kids, back up, get back up. And memory fade further into just sort of police arriving on the scene and reporters. It's just like another Pride Pine Sleuths case. This mystery we weren't ready to see solves. Very, very late. Later than all the reporters. Lacey's mother arrived at the scene a little bit sort of haphazardly. She had just woken up. Just like sees her kid and just like a single tear rolls down. The next thing isn't exactly a memory. Reed, before you actually walk into the doors of juvie as like your younger self, you were right before you had a growth spurt. You were the shortest kid in juvie. You find yourself in your own memories kind of whisked away a little bit, and also found yourself in this forest clearing next to a scene of the body of your old neighbor and friend, Lacey, that you only heard about dying. But seeing her there as Lacey is found mauled in this grisly scene.
I mean, it's a heavy image. It's there's like a level of shock and a sharp kind of like pang of sadness, but then Reed kind of like realizes, he's like, why am I seeing this? I wasn't here.
Exactly. You see the scene is a little bit strange as police lights kind of flash in and out.
Yeah.
Holly, you find yourself sort of standing still, just sort of taking in this memory again. You waited around for a lot of authorities and to see the mother's reaction as your water magic that you hadn't connected to again until recently kind of caused this. And you can't help but look at your own reflection in the water as the scene progresses. But then that reflection grows and gets bigger. No, the body of water is growing a little bit larger as you're gaining the awareness of your present self, and you lock eyes with Reed across the way. Wait, Reed wasn't here, was he? He's supposed to be in juvie. Wait, he was in juvie, and I never saw him at that age, did I? And you see all the cops, journalists that were currently asking questions are completely frozen still, waiting for something to happen. As you can see, the water rises and rises. Up above Lacey's body, the water rises and expands outward, grows in size and grows in height. How do you react as the water is constantly growing?
I'm gonna kneel down and touch it.
You touch it. You let it roll over you a little bit. It rises up to your elbow before you feel something else shift in the water. You look over, and where Lacey's body is standing, you see a taller Lacey with like crystalline growing out of her eyes where the claw marks are and bite marks. Strange grayish body, kind of with like red and blue crystals, not dissimilar from the rock Colton found. Walk out of the water. And like take a deep breath as you guys roll for initiative.
Oh no! I'm sorry! Ooh.
Don't run!
Are we using our current stats or our child stats?
Little child stats.
Okay,
as
that's
the water
just
rises above the world. So this is going to be
just a 7.
Yes, flat rolls for all.
I rolled a 19, baby.
And on that 19,
I rolled a 1.
You see almost as unsettling behind you, like red and blue eyes in the distance. Go at you as Annihilator finally comes onto the scene. At a little bit of a higher ground as the water rises. As you can see, you were kneeling down. It's kind of going up to like your waist The water is rapidly increasing as this revenant creature bottles up. A very good kid annihilator that will be posted
He's
as
got
the episode art.
He's
is
got a
posted
little
into a
propeller
group chat.
hat.
Wait, did the Annihilator's eyes change when he gets into fight mode?
Yeah, they turn
Oh, yeah.
red when kill mode is activated.
Exactly.
They turn
So,
red when kill
I
mode
like
is
the
activated.
propeller beanie. That's wonderful.
Exactly right. Lacey rolled terrible on the initiative, so let's not worry about that. What was everybody
I rolled
else's?
a 7.
7.
I rolled a nat 1.
Oh.
Nat 1. Reed doesn't know what's going on, dude. He's going through it.
Yeah, honestly.
Trauma. As children, I'm gonna say you can attack for 1d4 plus strength, or you can just dash. And maybe, should I let you spellcast? I'll let you do cantrips if you guys have cantrips.
From our current block of cantrips?
Yes, current block of cantrips, and maybe some worse stats. But yeah, you're the first to act, Annihilator, as you see this scene. What finally broke up the Pride Pines that Duncan never dared to enter. You see, you still were holding on closely to Duncan this whole time, but you see he's now in a child body, still unconscious, in this sort of altered slumber.
I'm gonna look up at Lacey and go,
Must protect Duncan, and just march over and I'm gonna whack her.
You're gonna whack her?
I'm gonna whack her with my, that's a 17. All right, and that's 1d4 plus my strength, which is 8, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be 2. 'cause it's
So
a
you're doing
minus
an
one.
unarmed on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 damage.
So yeah, that's oh wait, no. Isn't a Warforged D6? Unarmed damage?
No, mine's 1d4 plus strength usually
Okay.
anyway, so.
Then you also do an additional D4 because of my own homebrew melee rolls.
No.
Okay.
That's a 1.
Okay.
3 damage.
So yeah, that doesn't harm her hit point total at all, but she gets hit in the head. You see one of the crystal in her eyes actually cracks a little bit, or like in one of her scars cracks. Just like, what the fuck are you doing? Ow. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
I rolled initiative.
Holly, you fucking jerk. Stop. Ow. Jesus.
Wasn't even me.
Wasn't even you. That's your robot, right? There's a robot here. That's not my thing.
I mean, I guess it's my robot.
Oh my God. Stop this whole, stop. Ow. Ow. God, you fucking jerk. After all these years, getting me fucking mauled wasn't enough. Getting me mauled by freaking Reed's mom wasn't enough. Jesus Christ.
What?
Ow. Reed, what's going on?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Well, oh my God. This is so stupid. Oh, the water's still rising. God, I had this whole fucking thing to like teach you a lesson. Sorry for the theatrics, okay? I wanted to get back at you a little bit. Just go under the water. Just let it happen real quick. She then ducks under the water off of her turn. Maddie, what do you want to do what sort of check would you want to make as the scene completely changes tone?
I want to like do something like pinch myself or try and figure out if I can tell, like, cause I'm like, I think this is a dream. I'm like remembering being in the dream realm, and I'm trying to like figure out if like anything is real and if this is actually gonna like do anything to us.
You pinch yourself. It doesn't feel like anything right away. So you look for the right spot, and then you see like your skin kind of raise up a little bit, like a balloon that's like with too much tension. It kind of pop, magical dust falls out. Kid form flutters away as your adult form returns, as you now level up to level 7 after facing your childhood trauma.
Whoa.
Child murder.
You hear from under the water, of course you level up after that. What an absolute asshole. Jesus Christ. So yeah, that's your turn. You now have all your stuff back. You now have all your skills bonuses. We'll level up in a second. But yeah, we find ourselves going on to Lacey's turn. Under the water raises even more. You see it kind of going up, but it doesn't feel like a water you know. Would you like to dive down under it, or would you like to cast a spell first?
I want to cast guidance on Reed to hopefully help him out so that he can kind of like unlock himself
Atonement,
from the
dude.
dream. So you get to add 1d4 to any ability check of your choice.
Sweet.
And then I want to dunk my head underneath and see if I can see Lacey still.
Yeah, you duck your head underneath and you see the ground that you're standing on, that you can like feel yourself standing on, kind of gives away as like it's entirely a completely wide open ocean with nothing around as Lacey kind of floats around and go. You see like this sort of crystalline kind of scarring she has is like a little bit more growing like coral in a way. It's a pretty cool look, not gonna lie. Not as like horrifying as it initially seemed. Just like, God, I just wanted to like freak you out and get you guys to run around a little bit, but you just had to be all fucking, ooh, I have a robot that's gonna punch you really hard.
He does that.
So effed, dude. Just get your other little guys down here. Come on. We'll wait for Reed.
Can I just like look at her with like, you can't tell because I'm underwater, but like I'm just like about to cry, and I just want to say like, I'm so sorry. I didn't actually ever want to hurt you.
Well, I did want to hurt you, and I'm sorry about that.
I guess we all make mistakes.
I'm okay with leaving it there. As we go back up to Reed, how does he react as like as the world fills up around him? You see the kind of like other people that were at the scene staying stationary are kind of turned into like sort of statuesque mannequins that kind of lose the texture on their sort of forms as the sort of scene kind of dissolves around you.
He doesn't have any like strong thoughts, but he is freaking out a little bit because I mean it's like rising. It's like, you know, he's not the worst swimmer, but also it's like, does he see where Holly went?
Just fully under the water. It doesn't feel like water you've known before. And you do feel the tide kind of welcoming you, but what do you want to take away for your own sort of guilt and trauma as you go underneath the tide? Holly kind of, you know, very calmly pick away at her form and then it sort of dissipate. What would be Reed's approach to that process?
I think Reed's going to try to like kind of wade through the water towards where like Holly went under.
Oh yeah, you're just sort of walking back down underneath the slope of what used to be there. And as your head goes fully under the water, you feel completely weightless as you see Europowed Lacey, now currently your age, with like a bunch of crystalline coral kind of growing out of her. As that kind of reminds you of the rock you found not so long ago, as a sort of a wild crystalline rock formation.
Nice.
As like you feel your sort of Feywild heritage go through. Do you feel like Reed has a bit more to work through before he can get back to his normal self, per se?
I mean, he still has definitely some stuff to work through, but I think he's kind of forgiven himself.
He's like, forgive himself for not being who his dad expected.
Exactly, and kind of realized that he has come a long way. And so that has, like, released some... Yeah,
released a little bit of the weight.
Some kind of self-defeating thoughts, yeah.
As you release some of the weight, you feel a little bit lighter in the water. You look up and see the reflections of adult reflection in the water above you, and as you reach out your child-formed hands, you kind of hold on, arms with him, and then pull your adult self into the sea. Gain normal consciousness.
And level up to level 7.
Let's go.
Let's go.
As you go underneath the Annihilator, you carry Duncan down with you a little bit as you sort of go down beneath the sea, following Lacey down to the bottom. You guys swim for a while, a little bit unsure what to say. But when you finally reach the bottom of the floor, you start to see a building or two. You see the town, what seems to be the town of Pride Pines, going down in like a very sort of dim lighting. As you go down further, you notice the light is, you weren't exactly sure what to expect with the lighting of this sort of ethereal astral sea that you're in. You see around you, if you look above, where before you would see the surface of it with your reflections and stuff, you do see a kind of sun that is eclipsed by a moon or some other kind of object. So there's like a eclipse ring in the sky. It's honestly a little bit apocalyptic as you go down beneath, as this sort of very calming, peaceful scene of a wide ocean becomes more unsettling as you see Pride Pines down below you, dilapidated, rotted away from sort of water erosion. And then as you get closer, you do see bodies floating of many people you recognize in Pride Pines. A Pride Pines that's been eroded by a lot of the time. As Annihilator, you feel a connection to this, a message that this is your future. And you find yourself in a very strange scene of a sort of apocalyptic, completely flooded Pride Pines that the Annihilator has a strange reaction to. This is the first clear picture you've gotten of the future. How does that make you feel? How does it make the Annihilator feel, Matthew?
I think the Annihilator is kind of starting to realize that on his lifetime scale, the sort of like fruitlessness of, or I guess not the fruitlessness of it, but the realization that eventually, because he is made of steel and magic, that he will outlive everybody that he knows and that he is theoretically tasked with protecting, and will eventually reach a state where his purpose of protecting the future of Eli and Maddie is no longer possible, because they will be long dead, and he just has to sit and wait and rust in sort of that that endless void that is his lifetime.
Inevitability of you not having a clear path in this future. You find yourself with this strange feeling of, I have a present to outlive, but if the present is like this, there has to be something I can do, right? And then you hear a booming sort of voice call upon you. Hello, my disciple, my paladin. It is about time we've met, form to form.
The future, is that you?
You will recognize me as I arrive, and you see above this sort of eclipse-shaped, going at you from a distance, a very large, writhing mass of sort of brown, sort of liquid slime, unsettling bloodshot eyeball, and a huge sort of sagging bag underneath its eye as the unresting god, Jehovah, drifts towards you.
Ew.
Oh, do you serve Jehovah too? Lacey asks you.
By proxy, I suppose.
Yeah, he resurrected me as a revenant, which I honestly do owe him a lot for that, especially since like some werewolf, Reed's werewolf mom, kind of like clawed me when I sort of woke up in that body of water. I had a pretty crazy night as a kid, let me tell you.
That sounds pretty crazy.
It was indeed crazy. Almost as crazy as what awaits in the future, my paladin. I call upon you to serve me and to force and to save Duncan from his current predicament. We have gotten too close to the sleep god's domain. To wake up Duncan, to save Pride Pines from being drowned in a sea of tainted water. You must awaken the sleep god and kill it.
Would you say that I have to annihilate it?
Yes, you will annihilate Melatonidon.
The Annihilator's eyes turned red as
and you see a faint
kill
image in the
mode
distance
activates.
of a giant, a behemoth-sized shark swimming in the distance. Melatonidon has been growing since the dawn of time, with each member of humanity joining the dream realm. A Melatonidon sleeps, slumbers, and grows, flooding the ocean itself as he slumbers in its depths. The human world has not been able to wake him. The conflict between them and the magic world will. Your mission, your oath that you've taken, to preserve the future, you must disturb the presence into war and wake this sleeping god. Do you accept your charge?
If this will protect Duncan and Holly, I will do it.
It will protect Duncan. If Holly follows your way, then she will be safe as well. All who follow your way, the way of the unresting, will be protected from the sleeping god's wrath. In time for me to save this world, a domain of ambition, a domain of restlessness, a domain of the unresting. Do this and I will grant you the power you need to win the war ahead.
Correct.
Whatever side you choose.
Current calculations indicate that the best course of action would be to bring Holly along. And then this will be done.
And so you swear now by your oath, I shall grant you this power. As an echo rings through the air, and like the caffeinated sort of energy through your veins and your system kind of explodes a little bit and morphs. Matthew, you can now select one upgrade to gain permanently outside of channeling your divinity as an oath of the future paladin. I mean, I'm guessing you want like the divine sort of radiant crossbow or whatnot. But I'll let you choose in a moment as the unresting warlock dissipates into the sea around you as whips of caffeinated liquid and substances dissipate throughout. As you guys now see the future of Pride Pines, Lacey speaks up. So this is a lot, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole kind of melatonidon god shark that's always sleeping, which is like a little bit ironic because like sharks always have to be moving, right? So yeah, that's been a whole thing we have to deal with. And Jehovah wanted the FBI in on this, or like the fake FBI, so we can like kind of sabotage them and get them to fail. But they failed so spectacularly that now our tribes loyal to Jehovah are kind of abandoning us. Just a lot of stuff that's a little bit complicated to figure out. Also, we're not really sure what the sort of rogue members of our tribe are planning to do. We know they opened that portal, and they'll probably open another portal, but we're not really sure.
Wait, what portal?
Projector.
Okay, that was a portal.
There's like sort of artistic mediums or kind of ways into this sort of realm a little bit, except for writing. Writing's a little bit lame, so we don't really.
Hey.
Yeah, like writers aren't really, like if like an AI can do it, it's not really like a gateway to the human soul at all, is it?
Okay, Holly's only goal now is to write a piece that is so moving that it opens a portal to another dimension.
Exactly. I surely have time to do that too. Yeah, we just really don't know what's next. We have some information, but honestly, it's like a total, I don't know. I feel like it's a stretch to say this sort of interplanar conflict is a mystery at this point with how much this has escalated. But yeah, we don't really know why the melatonidon is growing.
So your people need war to happen for the shark to wake up. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, at some point. There just has to be like certain...
You want us to get the FBI to fight the pixies?
I mean, they're already fighting a little bit, but we need like a full official kind of war doctrine at this point. With like, because like there's multiple tribes of pixies and whatnot. There's like a couple of maps I can show you, I guess, a little bit later. It's all getting a little complicated, I know, but...
What's going to happen when the shark does wake up?
We'll finally be able to kind of keep it the material plane and like kill it, hopefully. Gods kind of stay in their own domains, don't have material forms a lot of the time, unless they're like, Mount Olympus people, like Zeus or whatever, turning into a cow and like having sex with like another goat or something. Or
wait, is Zeus real?
Yeah. He was.
Holly's whole world. She probably should have known from the fact that magic is real, but she's like totally rethinking everything now.
It's a full pantheon, which is pretty interesting. It's not like a movie where like, only like the Bible is real and maybe Santa Claus. It's like, a lot of sort of pantheonic history has like a bit of truth to it. There probably is like a Poseidon kind of god that like you're getting powers from.
Guess that makes sense. Does that make me Percy Jackson? All right, I'm getting sidetracked. I don't think that book series has come out yet canonically. Let's stay on track.
I'm pretty sure there's 2 books out so far, right?
Okay.
No, the movie is coming out. Oh, Percy Jackson Lightning Thief is coming out. I'm super excited for the movie that's coming. Oh, wait.
Okay.
The movie came out in February. So we're on Titan's Curse, I think.
Spoilers, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Well, here's another spoiler. We got to go find Reed's mom. Because she's also a dream revenant like me now. But she got kidnapped by the Pixies, which is pretty freaking crazy, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's crazy. I'm kind of struggling to wrap my head around it. Are you okay, Reed? That's like a lot to unpack for you.
I'm getting there. It is a lot to unpack.
It's a lot of mysteries to unload, but hey, when we're going into the finale next week, we're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and see what lands,
Okay. So, get the FBI to fight the Pixies. Maybe unify the Pixies so that they're all fighting for the one cause.
Yeah, figure out what the Pixies are doing right now, because they stole the projector from you guys. It's like Duncan made this like weird kind of projector with like the 3D lenses that, oh shit. She kind of looks closely into like, Annihilator's eyes. She's like, yeah, he's got like lenses like that. Like points at sort of the red-blue kind of 3D lenses that Annihilator has for eyeballs. Just like, yeah, Duncan made like a special projector that, I definitely would have asked him if he wasn't asleep in the dream realm, which probably isn't possible. That's actually kind of a bad sign.
Okay, well,
I guess that we gotta wake up.
Wake up Duncan is number 1 then. Okay. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. I'm gonna need like a few hours at least to figure all this out.
We have plenty of time here. You guys take a 6-hour long rest as you guys sort of think about this information in this sort of dream realm. You guys have plenty of time. Suddenly it all clicks.
It's all making sense now.
So you guys just all drift along the sea a little bit outside of this sort of awe-haunting sort of future vision. You see the future vision goes out way too far. You see the entire West Coast. You see Portland and like a lot of sort of Oregon cities that are floating around. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. Jova really built out this whole spot, huh? You really could set a whole campaign in this sort of apocalyptic waterscape. What's going on here?
Foreshadowing.
So you guys have a long rest, get everything back. Yeah, you guys find yourselves outside of the visions now. You see the water turns ashy gray. It's like, oh, this is like even a more depressant version of the water as you finally find a way to the burned hollows.
So we can't get back to the real world right now.
I mean, you want to talk to Obono around, right?
Honestly, there's so much to dissect. I'm just trying to figure out where we're at.
True.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can go talk to that guy.
Okay. Deeper within. And you see on a very teeny little throne at the center of a clearing of the burnt hollow, you see a pixie with like goth makeup. That sort of style of face paint where like it's slapped on the eyes and like is dripping a little bit. Welcome to the necrotic pixie tribe.
Thank you.
The necrotic pixie tribe?
Yes, we are the undead pixies that do some revenant, afterlife dream protection stuff.
Okay, we're just learning a lot about this place.
Yeah, there's a full magical world. I mean, this is, what you've been looking for to get to the, before the Feywild, there's like all this dream logic you have to go through and learn about the world a little bit. Here's the lore you wanted.
I'm really just trying to figure out how to translate this well into a story narrative for my book.
Very true.
But that's, I guess, secondary. So it sounds like you're kind of at odds with the other pixies. You're not necessarily on the same page.
Yes, a couple of different pixies that were known as mischief pixies. They were the first to contact the FBI, and they were messing around with them because the loser FBI that Jova wanted to work with. And then some of them kind of ended up dead, so they took out some FBI members. One of them got captured. Real material plane person, tiny thief that we'd send in to like steal some stuff to mess with. They would also like take out loans with like a lot of high interest rates and things like that. Mischievous kind of financial practices as well.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, a lot of emotions going on here. What would it take for you guys to, like, join these mischief pixies? I know you guys aren't really on the same page, but it might be beneficial for everybody if you guys, like, found some common ground.
Well, we would join forces if we knew. They stopped contacting us a little bit, so we don't actually know where to find them quite yet.
I think I know where they've been.
We just have to, like, investigate and find, like, missing people, which seems pretty hard. We don't really know people with that skill set. Is that a sleuth thing?
As it would happen to be. It might be a slight skill that I have, yeah.
Here's their stuff. He sort of sets out like a little chest that they found and collected. And there's also like a burlap sack of like things they've stolen over the years and things like that. But you see the chest. Go and roll an investigation check.
That is not the best, but I have my normal stats, which makes it a 13.
Excellent. So yeah, 13. You see a couple of materials, just cataloging different sort of financial records over the years. You do see they lent out a loan to Harmon Herbalists. So a lot of businesses in Pride Pines have previously relied on some loans of like Pixie Gold and whatnot at like pretty interesting rates. You're not exactly a financial person, but there definitely has to be like, oh, there has been a magic presence even before the beginnings of your Pride Pines adventures that your mother seemingly didn't tell you about, which is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But you do see a lot of recent stuff. You do see something that's unrelated for now, but with like your sort of keen sort of investigative mind, you set them all aside and realize that they're all sort of save the dates, a couple of psych evaluations and things like that, a lot of like student school records. Then you see a lot of different sort of promotional things for volunteers, the senior camp out along the Pride Pines beach, and the sort of movie viewing that's taking place as part of the senior camp out that a lot of the town is volunteering and preparing for the past month. So it could be just something they found while they were at the school, but something in your mind tells you that it could be easier to connect the dots.
We got to get back to that senior camp out. I think that those are about to be some missing people if they're not already.
Oh, you found it out already?
Yeah, like it's
right all those
here.
Papers point to the same place?
I mean, yeah.
You just like look at that and then like think like have something.
Yeah, it's kind of her deal.
It's my whole thing. It's all that I got, really.
We'll open a portal right there, or just go back to the portal you came from, I guess, if you're okay, to swim through there for a while, or.
I mean, whatever's gonna get us to the quickest.
Kind of like a body of water, so it's kind of hard to like kind of go through there, and like we don't really have teleportation magic in that sense.
Oh, well, I do.
Wow, effed up. You see Lacey speak up. It's just like, I can't believe you try to pull that again, huh? So messed up.
Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't mean to, and I'm realizing that I actually have a lot more trauma than I thought I did that I was burying. Let's move on, though, because we got people to save.
Do you guys want help? I can, I could smite some people and stuff if you want some help. I don't know. I want to go on the material plane and, see how Pride Pines is.
Yeah, maybe we'll get you, an eye patch so that you don't, freak people out. But
hey, this is a cool crystal eye that does a magic
totally
spell,
cool.
Okay? I do a spell with this.
That's sick, but I'm just saying for the general public that might be a little bit off-putting. Not that you're off-putting. We have a lot of catching up to do, a lot of wounds to heal, but we should go because people are in danger.
The Annihilator doesn't understand why everyone wants iPads. I don't know what that has to do with her eye.
Very good. And on that note, you use your Travel the Tides ability.
Whoop, whoop.
7 Tides Druid. You can connect 2 bodies of water, and as you're in a singular body of water, you're able to connect it with the entrance to the dream realm you took, the projector screen, as opened by a projector revealed to have been built by Duncan Saxby. And as you go through it, you're back through doing okay. A little bit different than you remember, a little bit stronger. You're all level 7 now. We'll say, Colton, with your sort of emotional breakthrough, you're level 7, and your chain weapon is now slightly enchanted to be a +1 weapon. So yeah, you're going to add a 1 to attacks, if you might make a little note of that. And Holly, as you exit the thing, water, magical water from the portal you open, pours onto a popcorn bucket below and starts to shake a little bit. See like a sort of, you see like a promotional popcorn bucket for Prince of Persia, Jake Gyllenhaal kind of popcorn bucket. He's like doing the little pose with like his big guns out. Gemma Ayrton's like really small behind him a little bit. They're standing very Britishly along the poster. And do you want to investigate the bucket?
Yes, I would love to go up, and I would just like to I'm not going to touch it yet. I'm just going to look at it.
Look at it a little bit. A rat jumps out, crawls away a little bit. You look at it again. A bird flies out. A bat. A tiny little skeletal pixie walks out. As you can see, a popcorn bucket of tricks. This is a strange magical object that, not unlike the bag of tricks or the hat of tricks, as it's known in other sort of D&D settings, this magical item allows you to summon creatures that you can add shortly.
Oh, okay. Bucket of tricks.
As a strange magic item has been attuned to you and enchanted by your water.
If I tip it over, will the water spill out?
You see water spills out and like different sort of creatures spill out, but then they dissipate like water shortly in some distance away from the bucket. Did you find an old trick?
Find a makeshift lid and like close it on top of the bucket so it doesn't spill, and like tuck it in my backpack the best I can. Yeah, you have a little bandana that you just wrap around it a little bit. You hear some like squeaking inside. It's just like, oh, come on. I wanted to go out. You see like a little fish flopping in there because you can talk to fish. That hasn't come up a lot, but you can talk to any fish at all. Fish?
Yeah, you're a septile
yeah. I guess it makes. Oh yeah, aquatic creatures understand you. Yeah.
I am alive. I'm alive.
Is Fitzgerald aquatic?
He is. Oh my gosh.
I can talk to Fitzgerald.
That's incredible.
I'm gonna pull him out and be like, "Do you like the name Fitzgerald?"
I feel like it suits me.
Good, because I wasn't gonna change it. You should probably stop eating ash and cinder, just as a heads up.
I'm a lava turtle. I need a little bit of that hit.
Okay. Why do you sound like a 80-year-old smoker?
I'm just an old magic turtle. I'm 200 years old.
You're 200 years... Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm going to tuck Fitzgerald. I'm going to maybe put it in my pocket or like on my shoulder.
Oh, yeah. I like the pocket. Oh, the pocket's nice.
There you go.
Oh, there's so much lore getting passed around. I just need a little break from it all.
Yeah, don't we all?
There's maybe a little bit too much. Maybe edit it out a little bit. Oh, so nice in the pocket. You rush out into the night going off, and you hear screams from the beach. As you walk towards it a little bit, you hear screams of joy, just like, oh, what a spooky little horror movie trailer. I can't believe it. But you see flashes of red, blue light coming from the beach, completely enshrouded in fog. Can barely see. You can only see the lights as you guys rush forward into the night. As we end this episode of VMEArcana, before the finale, what awaits them on the senior campout? Can they stop the Pixies from their dastardly plan? Can we align any of these threads for the finale? Was this a mystery show anymore? Find out next Wednesday on VMEArcana. Thank you all for listening. Thanks to all the players for playing.
Woo.
Great job.
That's why we're here.
they got to roll some dice. Sorry about the talking.
Several dice.
And thanks to Eli for pursuing his career in law doing. He's not a lawmaker. He's not aiming that high. But,
He's a lawman.
He's a lawman. Extra special thank you for our supporters on patreon.com. Jeffrey A only at this point. Hello.
We need more gnomes.
We're still looking for a Jeffrey B.
We're still looking for
It's
Jeffrey
true.
B. Jeffrey C, we're crossing our fingers for.
Wait your turn.
For some reason, now that Matthew E. What's up with that, Matt?
Well, my name's not Jeffrey.
So fucked.
My name's Jeremy.
Totally skipping on the Patreon. Getting this show for free. Can you believe it?
Yeah, plug your ears when you're not talking, Matt.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry. My bad.
I'm
I was just
kidding.
trying to get a bargain.
This show is free for everyone. As we say at the end of every episode of VMEArcana, D&D is
Give
cool.
me Jeffrey or give me death. That's what we say every time.
Both of those things every time.
Be sure to keep in touch.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.